Hello everybody, welcome back to Tom Reads Things. My name is Tom. I hope you're all very well, and welcome to another Vlogmas video. Another Vlogmas video, I hear you say. So today, what I thought I would do is, it's about that time of year, I'm going to do the end of year book tag video. So I saw this posted on Mercedes' channel. I'll link that video down below. So the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So there actually aren't any books. That's a lie. The Phoebe by Julie Goodyear, I need to finish that. That is a book based around the life of a woman called Phoebe who lived in the time of Jesus, basically. She's one of the kind of unsung heroes of that time. Not a lot is known about her. And I started that like at the beginning of the year and haven't finished it. So yeah, that is a book that I need to get to. And I'm determined to get to it because I actually only have a little bit left of it. But I DNF'd some books earlier in the year, and I'm really pleased to say that I actually came back to them later in the year and finished them. The first one was Persuasion by Jane Austen. So when I first picked this up, I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm just not. I think I started this just after I'd finished a big hefty Dickens. I think I finished it after I'd read Bleak House, and I just wasn't in the mood for any kind of classics at that time, and I put it down, and I'm so pleased that I ended up picking it back up again for Jane Austen July, because it's turned into be one of my favourite books of the year. I've really enjoyed this. So yes, that's one that I DNF'd and did pick up again later in the year. Another one that I DNF'd and picked up again later in the year was Ghost Walk by Sarah Moss. So again, I read this and I was just like, I don't care about any of the characters. I don't really get it. I don't really understand what's going on. I'm not really that interested. And then ended up picking it up again months and months later, much more towards the summer. I think I started this in the spring and then picked it up again end of the summer and ended up really enjoying it. I think the end of this book certainly picks up. The beginning I found a bit kind of neither here nor there really, but yeah, the end of this book was much better, much more interesting and gripping. So yeah, I'm pleased that I picked this up in the end. The next question is, do you have any autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So I have Festive Spirits by Kate Atkinson, which I am currently reading at the moment, but I also think a great it's not an autumnal book, it's a winter book to transition into the end of the year is Winter by Ali Smith. So I read this last Christmas and really enjoyed it. I was quite nervous to read Ali Smith because so many people had said that she was absolutely brilliant, and I think she lives locally to me actually, so I was even more scared that I might bump into her if I didn't like her book. But I read this and found it absolutely fascinating. It's a really interesting examination of Christmas and mental health and different family relationships at Christmas. And I just found it so interesting and a fantastic read. So yeah, this is a book that I would recommend to transition towards the end of the year if you're looking for such a recommendation at all. So the next question is, are there any new releases that you are still waiting for this year? So there is a new release that I have been waiting for, but I know I'm not going to read it until the beginning of next year. I'm going to read it in January, hopefully. And that is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, I think it is. So I have not read The Night Circus. I know a lot of people have and have been raving about it, but I've only just heard of this author, and when I saw the cover for The Starless Sea, I was intrigued, and then I read the story about the sort of blurb about it and was even more intrigued. And I know people are reading it at the moment or have read it and say that it's great, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I also want to read The Night Circus by her as well. So yeah, it's already come out here in the UK, but I know I'm not going to read it this year. It will be in my next year's reading list. So the next question is, what are the books that you want to read before the end of the year? So for me, I have a very easy one. Kate Atkinson's Festive Spirits. I want to finish this before the end of the year. I'll probably finish it in the next hour or so, I would have thought. It's very short, and I've only got 2 short stories left in this to complete. Another book that I want to read before the end of the year is a book called Marriage, which I know I'm going to be finishing before the end of the year because I'm doing it as a buddy read with Simon at Savage Reads. I think we're hopefully going to do it in between Christmas and New Year, but we'll have to see how much time we have. So yeah, Marriage is an early 19th century novel. As you can tell, it's about marriage. But what really interested me and Simon, I think, about this book was that I don't have a copy of it here with me. I'm waiting for it to arrive. Was that it was written by a contemporary of Jane Austen, but actually this author, I can't remember her name, outsold Jane Austen. So really interested to read that and basically to see what all the fuss is about. So the next question is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? I don't think so. I'm pretty certain I know what my favourite book of the year is, and if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you probably know as well. But one book that I have read recently, right towards the end of this year, in kind of middle of December, was Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, and I found this utterly fascinating, gripping, enthralling, moving, glorious and terrifying at the same time, and it will definitely be in my top 10 books of the year. It won't be, I doubt it'll be my favourite book of the year, although you'll have to stay tuned for my top 10 books of the year video, which will be coming out between Christmas and New Year to find out what that list is. But this is such a fantastic book, and it gets to that time of the year when you're like, do you know what, I've done all my brilliant reading for this year, I'm just kind of winding up towards the end of the year now. If I get anything half decent, it'll be a bonus, but you know, I'm pretty certain what my top 10 of the year looks like. And then bam, this came along and absolutely has blown me out of the water. I loved it. So yeah, do give this a read if it sounds interesting to you. It's absolutely fantastic. So the final question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2020? Yes, I have already started making reading plans for 2020, certainly early 2020. I know that I want to read The Night Circus. I know that I want to read The Starless Sea. I know that I want to read a little bit more contemporary fiction, I think. I know that I want to read some more Dickens. So yeah, my reading plans, I think what I did was, for this year, I put 45 books as my reading target for this year, and that to some people may seem like a ridiculously low amount of books. But I'm a relatively new reader, so I don't have a very fast reading speed. And I actually don't have a huge amount of time to read. I read while I'm commuting, and I have a little bit of time to read in the evening, but that really is about it. So 45 books was quite ambitious for me, especially seeing as I read a lot of books that are between 500 and 1,000 pages long. Some of the bigger Dickens novels that I've read this year, Dombey and Son, Bleak House, have all been 1,000 odd pages, like just under 1,000 pages. So I think what I'd like to do next year is try and up that reading challenge goal and read slightly shorter books and a bit more contemporary fiction as well. So I was really blown away by Ocean Vuong's On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous this year, and I really want to read more stuff like that. So yeah, that's my sort of reading goals for 2020. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that thrilling and informative, and I will be back tomorrow with another Vlogmas video. Thanks a lot, bye!